Episode 8. Living fully in uncertainty. Welcome back. Today we're talking about something we all face at some point. Uncertainty. It's something none of us can avoid, but most of us spend our lives trying to. For me, uncertainty has become a constant companion on this journey with MDS. It's there when I wake up in the morning. It's there when I go for labs. It's there in the quiet moments when my mind starts to wonder, what's next? Because the truth is, I don't know what tomorrow's labs will show. I don't know how my body will feel in a week or even the next day. I don't know the timeline of treatments or how the challenges might shift along the way. And that kind of not knowing can feel really unsettling. It can make you feel like your life is on pause, like you're just waiting for answers before you can fully live again. I felt that. The temptation to hold my breath until the next result, to delay joy until I have clarity, to put life on hold until things feel more certain. But here's what I'm learning. Life doesn't wait for certainty. And even in the middle of all the unknowns, life is still happening. There are still moments to notice. There is still beauty to experience. There is still laughter, connection, purpose, even here. Uncertainty may be part of my story right now, but it doesn't get to take away my ability to live. And that's what I want to talk about today. How do we live fully? Not someday when things are clear, but today when they're not. How do we find peace when the answers are missing? How do we hold joy and fear at the same time? How do we keep showing up for our lives, even when we don't know what comes next? Because the goal isn't to eliminate uncertainty. Maybe it's to learn how to walk with it, without letting it steal what still matters. Because even here, in the unknown, there is still life to be lived. Uncertainty is not the enemy. Many of us react to uncertainty with fear. It's almost instinctive. We try to control it. We try to predict it. We try to fix it. We try to think our way out of it or plan our way around it. Because if we can just figure it out ahead of time, maybe we can soften the impact. Maybe we can protect ourselves from the unknown. But uncertainty is not inherently dangerous. It is simply a truth of life. We just don't like sitting in it. We prefer clarity. We prefer answers. We prefer knowing how the story ends before we turn the page. And yet, life rarely gives us that comfort. Proverbs 3 verse 5 and 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight." The verse has taken on a deeper meaning for me in this season, because it doesn't say understand everything. It doesn't say figure it out all first. It doesn't say trust when things make sense. It says trust with all your heart, even when your mind is searching for answers, even when your emotions are unsettled, even when the next step isn't clear. And it gently reminds me of something important. My understanding was never meant to carry the weight of my future. Trust is not optional in uncertainty. It is essential. Because uncertainty will always ask a question of us. It will ask, what will you rely on when you don't know what comes next? And in those moments, I'm learning that I have a choice. I can lean on my fear, or I can lean on God. We cannot know the future, but we can trust the one who does. And that changes everything. Because trust doesn't remove uncertainty, but it changes how we stand inside of it. It steadies us. It softens fear. It gives us somewhere to rest when answers are not available. And slowly, over time, I found that trust doesn't just carry me through uncertainty, it reshapes me within it. Life happens in the not knowing. I've realized something important in this journey. Life doesn't pause while we wait for clarity. It keeps moving. The sun still rises each morning, whether I feel ready for the day or not. The grandchildren still laugh in their other room, full of joy and a life that doesn't wait for perfect circumstances. The phone still rings with encouragement at just the right moment, reminding me I'm not alone. And slowly I've learned, uncertainty is a background, not a barrier. It may be there. It may be present in the quiet moments, in the thoughts that come and go, but it doesn't have to be the center of the story. It doesn't get to take away what is still happening right in front of me. So I've started making a different choice. I choose to live in the moments I can touch. To notice what is here, instead of only worrying about what is ahead. To be present, even when the future feels invisible. To receive today as it is, not as I wish it had to be before I can fully live it. I remember one particular day. It was one of those days where my mind felt heavy. I was thinking about everything ahead, the unknowns, the treatment, the questions I didn't have answers to yet. Then I got a text message from Victoria asking if they can stop by. My day suddenly felt brighter as I anticipated seeing my grandbabies. And when they arrived, my heart felt so full. They had made me beautiful cards, little reminders of their love, telling me to feel better. And in that moment, none of the heaviness mattered as much. Feeling their arms around my neck, hearing their laughter, hearing Joy say, "Oma, I miss you so much every day," filled me in a way I can't fully explain. It filled my tank. It reminded me there is still joy here, even in the middle of this difficult journey. And I realized life was still happening. Joy was still present. Love was still present. This moment was still here. And I had a choice. I could stay in my thoughts or I could step into that moment. So I sat down with them, I laughed, I listened, I was there. And for that moment, the unknown didn't disappear, but it also didn't control me. In Matthew 6, verse 34, Jesus reminds us, "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." There is something so grounding in that verse. It doesn't deny that tomorrow exists. It doesn't pretend challenges won't come. But it gives me permission to stay in today. Another day recently that brought me so much joy was when Christina, Mandy and I decided to go get some ice cream. I thought Mandy was talking about one place, while I had a completely different place in mind. We realized the mix-up and just started laughing. Instead of choosing one, Mandy made it simple. We went to both. Ice cream from one place that day, and the other saved for the next. And it turned into something more than just ice cream. It became a moment of laughter, a moment of lightness, a moment where for a little while the weight of the journey lifted. We laughed. We enjoyed being together. We simply lived in that moment. And it reminded me, even in the middle of this journey, there are still moments to cherish, still joy to be found, still memories being made. And I'm realizing, even when tomorrow is unknown, today is still mine to live. Not perfectly, not with all the answers, but fully present in what has been given to me right now. And somehow in that choice, I find peace. Not because everything is certain, but because I am learning to be here, in the middle of uncertainty, and still live. And that is not always easy, because uncertainty pulls my mind forward. It tries to take me into what if, and what next, and how will this unfold? But I'm learning to gently bring myself back to today, back to this breath, back to what is still good right now. When everything feels unpredictable, I've learned to come back to what is constant, what does not change even when everything else feels like it is shifting, to anchor myself in what remains steady. God's presence, not distance, not conditional, but with me. In the quiet moments, in the fearful moments, in the ordinary moments that don't feel spiritual at all, but are still held by Him. The love from family and friends, the people who show up in meals left at the door, in text messages that say, I'm thinking of you, in prayers spoken when I don't even have the words myself. Love that doesn't disappear when life gets hard, but becomes even more visible in it. The breath I am taking right now, so simple, yet so powerful, a reminder that I am still here, still held, still given this moment, not the next one, just this one. And the truth that my steps are ordered, even when I cannot see the full path ahead, even when the road feels uncertain or incomplete, I am not wandering without direction. There is purpose in each step, even the ones I don't fully understand yet. Uncertainty will always exist. It is part of being human, part of living in a world that is not fully predictable or controlled. But peace was never meant to come from eliminating uncertainty. Peace does not require a perfect set of circumstances. It does not wait for every question to be answered or every outcome to be secured. Peace comes from resting in something and someone unshakable. It comes from choosing to believe that when I don't know what is next, I'm still held by the one who does. And that changes how I breathe in the middle of the unknown. Not rushed, not frantic, not trying to figure everything out at once, but steadied, anchored, present, because even here, in the middle of uncertainty, I am not without something firm to stand on. practices that help me live fully. Here are some things that I do. Number 1, start the day with focus. I remind myself of what is true today, not what may happen tomorrow. Before my mind has a chance to run ahead into all the what-ifs, I try to gently bring myself back to the present, back to what is real right now. Not the imagined outcomes, not the fears of next week or next month, but today. Because today is the only place I actually live. Number 2, choose gratitude in real time. I look for blessings even in small, ordinary moments. Not just the big, obvious things, but the quiet ones. A warm cup of coffee, a message that comes at just the right time, a moment of laughter that breaks through heaviness, a peaceful breath when I wasn't expecting one. Gratitude doesn't always come from perfect circumstances. Sometimes it is a choice I make in the middle of imperfect ones. And I've learned that when I slow down enough to notice, there is still so much good woven into the day. Number 3, move my body when I can. Fatigue doesn't mean life stops. Gentle movements keep me present. There are days when my body feels tired in ways I can't explain, and everything in me wants to withdraw and shut down. But I've learned that even small movements matters. A slow walk, stretching, stepping outside for fresh air. It's not about pushing through. It's about staying connected to life. Staying grounded in my body. Reminding myself that I'm still here, still moving, still participating in the day I've been given. Number 4, connect with loved ones. Shared laughter, stories, and prayer remind me that I am not walking alone. There is something healing about connection, about hearing someone's voice on the phone, about laughing over something simple, about being prayed for and praying with others. These moments pull me out of isolation and back into relationship. They remind me that I'm held not only by God, but also by people who love me well. I am not carrying this alone. Number 5, pray honestly. I don't pretend to have answers. I simply bring my uncertainty to God. My prayers in this season are not always polished or eloquent. Sometimes they are just honest. God, I don't understand. God, I'm tired. God, I need you in this moment. And somehow, that honesty becomes its own kind of prayer. Because I've learned that I don't have to bring certainty to God. I just have to bring myself. And in that place, He meets me. Not with pressure, not with expectation, but with presence. Courage in the unknown. Living fully in uncertainty takes courage. It is a quiet, steady kind of courage, not loud or dramatic, but persistent. The kind that wakes up each morning and chooses to step forward, even when the path ahead is unclear. It's choosing to live, not just wait. It means showing up even when outcomes are uncertain. Showing up for your life, your appointments, your relationships, your calling, without guarantees. It's choosing presence over paralysis. It's saying, I may not know what happens next, but I will not disappear from my own life. It means planning for the future without assuming control. You still dream. You still prepare. You still make plans, but you hold them with open hands. You release the illusion that you can control every outcome and instead trust that even if things change, you will be carried through. Uncertainty has a way of revealing what we truly believe. You don't have to feel strong to be strong. You don't have to be fearless to live fully. You only need to be willing. Willing to take the next step. Willing to stay present. Willing to trust even in the unknown. Because living fully in uncertainty isn't about having answers, it's about having the courage to keep going without them. If you are walking through a season of uncertainty, hear this. You can still live fully right now, not someday when things make sense, not when the results come back, not when the future feels secure. Right here, in the middle of the unknown, your life is still happening and it is still yours to live. You can laugh, even if it feels unfamiliar, even if joy feels quieter than it used to. Laughter is not denial, it's defiance. It's a reminder that uncertainty does not get to steal every good thing from you. You can love, not in a guarded, half-present way, but fully, deeply, intentionally. Love the people in front of you. Love the moments you're given. Love without waiting for guarantees. You can breathe. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply pause and take a breath, not rushing ahead, not spiraling into what-ifs, just being here, grounded, alive in this moment. You can trust, not because everything is clear, but because even when it isn't, you are not alone in it. Trust doesn't mean you understand the path. It means you believe there is purpose even when you can't see it yet. Uncertainty does not define you. It may shape your season, but it does not shape your identity. Faith does. The quiet decision to believe anyway. Presence does. The choice to stay engaged in your life instead of withdrawing from it. Courage does. Not the absence of fear, but the decision to let faith speak louder. Your steps are still ordered, even when they feel unsure. There is direction, even when there is no clarity. Your life is still valuable, right now, as it is. Not just when you're stronger, not just when you're healed, not just when things are resolved, and you can still live fully today. Not perfectly, not fearlessly, but fully. One breath at a time, one step at a time, one moment at a time. And that is enough. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to live fully in uncertainty. Like it by clicking the thumbs up. Follow me by clicking the bell sign. This will help me reach more people. Until next time, stay anchored.